You, my friends, are on the John Fredericks Media Network, the John Fredericks Radio app. I am live in D.C. Great to have you with us. Well, I don't think that Rabbi Yaakov Menken, who's been coming on my show for 15 years, ever thought this day would come. Paul Teller, not quite 15 years, but I don't think he saw it either. But here we are, 47 years of getting kicked in the teeth, getting our military men and women killed by the Iranian Ayatollahs, getting the hostages, getting the IDs, getting Beirut, all of it. Finally, one president after 47 years, Carter, Reagan, Clinton, Bush, Biden, Obama. One president says, you know what? I've had enough of you guys. I'm done. And I'm going to sink your Navy to every last rowboat. I'm going to take out all of your military. And hopefully the people of Iran will seize Carpe Diem on this generational opportunity to take back your government and not get slaughtered in the street like stuck pigs. And Israel, right there. This isn't about Israel. It's about American sovereignty. Join me now, Rabbi Yaakov Menken, Executive Vice President, Coalition for Jewish Values. Paul Teller, President, Teller Strategies. Thank you, Teller, for putting that right there in the chat.
There we go. Always trying to help.
Thank you, Tyler. As long as you do that, Tyler, I am right. I'm good.
I love it.
So thank you. It's only been 15 years. It took me 13 years to finally get. Well, it took me 13 years to finally get the rabbi's title right, and then he changed it, and it really pissed me off. So let's go with the rabbi. So, did you ever see this day coming, Rabbi, in your lifetime?
Well, it depends when you asked me. Did I see it a week ago? Absolutely. Did I see it 6 months ago? I had no idea where Trump was going with this. He was obviously playing a very, very careful chess game. Like you said, it's completely about American interests, but I've never seen a collaboration between the U.S. and Israel this tight either. In both of these Iran wars, the previous conflagration over the summer and now the way the two are working hand in glove, and it's totally obvious, by the way, that Trump is calling the shots. This is not Trump fighting America, it's Israel's wars, Israel controlling the American government.
The United Nations.
Nothing doing. This is Trump calling the shots, leading the way, defending American interests, which, oh, by the way, include defending the interests of the entire free world. It was actually amazing. If you watch the Iranians, last time the Iranians fired missiles at Israel, this time, not only fire Israel, they fired at Oman, they fired at Bahrain, they fired at Saudi Arabia, they fired, where did they not? Apparently they now fired a missile at Cyprus to bomb a UK airbase when the UK is staying out. This is, like the Iranians are desperate now. Well, because it's like a chicken with his head cut off, running around, literally running around in his last gasps. And Trump is not having any of this until the beast is dead.
Paul Teller.
Morning. Good to see you guys. And yes, a miracle that I'm finally on video. Got it to work. So all good. John, you're exactly right. Like, could we have predicted this? I got to remember when George W. Bush invaded Iraq. I remember I was a young staffer at the House Republican Study Committee, House conservatives in the U.S. House. I remember thinking, we're invading the wrong country. Like, Iraq is a problem. It's like a wart on the tushy of Iran, which even then was, the great Satan of the Middle East and of the world. It has become even more so. And yeah, this bold, brave action led by President Trump, by the United States, just fantastic. And it's what I was saying before. Isn't it great that it's not led by the United Nations? It's not some committee decision-making with the Europeans. It's just America and Israel. And soon, as the rabbi just pointed out, soon our Middle East allies, I'm sure, will officially either, if not declare war, at least unofficially declare war and really join us in the fight, to the extent that they haven't already. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of intel. I hear that maybe Jordan and the Saudis have already blocked some incoming Iranian missiles, things like that. So I'm sure there's already great cooperation, collaboration going on, but more to come. You're attacking Oman. I mean, is there any more neutral country in any of this than Oman? And they're attacking them. So I mean, it's like the rabbi said, it's desperation. And as we've said on this show many times, the Iranians just need to surrender now more than ever. Right? Lay down your arms and save your life. Why are you going to you're going to be killed? So why are you doing that? Just stop, surrender, and head towards a path of freedom.
So Paul, let me ask you this: you said Europe, right, basically staying out of this. Macron weighed in from France the other day, blasting this incursion. What was his position here? Why is he doing that? Why not just shut up?
I mean, I have a feeling that Rabbi will agree with me on this too, but so many European nations have had such an influx of Arab/Muslim immigration that it's such a powerful domestic force within so many of these European countries. They probably feel like they have to say it to be safe domestically, politically there. In other words, they can't not criticize it. It's really outrageous. But anything that America or Israel does that is perceived as anti-Muslim, which of course this isn't directly anti-Muslim, but if it's perceived that way, I think in many European capitals, the leaders are going to have to condemn it. It's really sad.
I'm sorry, Rabbi, why bomb Oman and Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, whatever they're doing, Qatar? Why not just focus all your missiles on Israel? Like, what are they doing? What was the objective of that? All it does is piss them off.
Well, first of all, why fire missiles at Israel either? This time Israel's attacking them. I get it. It's part of the war, but the entire thing has been initiated by Iran and its vicious pursuit. They don't pursue nuclear weapons like others do for defensive purposes. They pursue nuclear weapons to use them. And that was obviously a danger that the free world could not allow to happen. And it's not just the free world. It's those other countries. First of all, there were U.S. bases in those other countries, and those were but it didn't matter because they want the Omanis to fall into line. They want the Saudi Arabians to fall into line. Iran wants to be in control of all the world's oil and a lot of the world's nuclear resources. And that would have obviously made the world an incredibly dangerous and hostile place for anybody, certainly anybody who wants their freedom. It's quite amazing when you look at what's going on around the world. How after in the Gaza war, there was one AI fake after another. There was portrayal of starving babies who actually had other medical conditions, as proven by their overweight mothers. And yet, when it comes to Iran, no AI, no fakes. It's all real. The mountain of bodies was real. This is a regime that murdered its own citizens rather than allow them basic civil rights, rather than allowing a woman to go out without a chaperone, rather than allow a woman to go out without a hijab, allowing anybody to voice an opinion. They didn't want any of that. They put tens of thousands of people to death to avoid that, because they want to dominate the world. It's the same reason why they're firing on the Arab neighbors, to get the Arab neighbors to fall into line, to get their own people to fall into line. It's the problem.
And by the way, did you happen to catch what the genius Mamdani, mayor of New York? I mean, now he's criticizing this attack on the Iranian regime when he was silent. As the rabbi points out, there were tens of thousands of Iranian bodies piling up at the hands of the regime. No problem. Quiet.
If you were silent while that was going on, while the murders were going on, you said nothing. But now all of a sudden you found your voice to condemn stopping the Iranians.
Yep.
It's because you are pro-barbarism. Mamdani is pro-barbarism. Ilhan Omar would like nothing more than to import terrorism into this country and get this same Sharia law that they have in Iran. These people want it here. And we got to stop pretending that they're just peace-loving Americans and kumbaya. And as soon as they get some education and they get some wealth, it doesn't work that way. These people have an ideology of hate, and you don't get rid of it that fast. And sadly, here it is in America. It's got roots. You've got actual Nazis in the House Democratic Caucus. You've got to change that for society to change.
Paul, talk to us about a new government, a transitionary government.
Yeah.
The Iranian leadership says we have a secession plan. We're going to elect a new leader. There's other groups saying that we now control Iran, but they don't because the bureaucracy is still controlled by the theocrats. Walk us through your vision here of regime change.
No, and it's a good question. I think, let's face it, a lot of it is unclear. For the main reason was we don't know who's going to survive day to day, right? Someone who may think he or she is in charge, or has a job or a life right now, may not have that by the end of the day or the end of the week. So it's hard to know exactly which way the regime change is going. But it is a good question, right? I guess maybe there's two paths to look at, right? One is just total obliteration of every possible leader in Iran that stirs a freedom-based rise up from the people. I guess that's what we're hoping for. Another thing could be more like the Venezuela option, right? Where you decapitate the leadership, the regime, but you still have enough of the bureaucracy and others left that it's just run as a puppet state. That, to me, I think the rabbi might agree, but to me, that's not a very good option. I think it needs to be gutted, the entire government there, and taken over by people that actually want to go back to the way Iran/Persia, was before, and head more in a path of.
So Paul, why did the puppet state scenario? And you're the first person who said that, other than me, that the Venezuelan is a puppet state. I mean, that is the best. When I said that, I got criticized. It's a puppet state. They're basically the vice president who went to the island, who's a communist, left-wing radical, went there, and now she's playing ball. She's a puppet.
Right.
What is different there that cannot work in a
and frankly, that's a good question. And I'm hoping that we don't find out, because really what this, after decades of just venomous murder and hate, not just at America, not just at Israel, at fellow Arabs, or I should say at Arabs around the world, at Europeans around the world, things along those lines. I hope it's just a complete turnover of the regime, and they can go back to the fantastic country that was before. Well-educated population, desiring freedom. There would be a pro-American state. This, we shouldn't picture this like Afghanistan, where people are, living in caves and, drinking God knows what water is flowing by. I mean, this would be a civilized nation that would be pro-American, and I think they can rise up and control their own nation. I don't think it needs to be a puppet state. It's just a different scenario.
But they don't have any. The problem is the Free Iranian movement, which is pretty enormous there.
Yeah.
They don't have any weapons. I mean, they don't have any guns.
If I could disagree, I don't think the puppet state is an option anymore. And Trump has already kind of seen to that. It's not just that they killed off Khomeini. It's that the top 40 generals and leaders in the country, the political echelon, the military echelon, they're all gone. They're all dead. What do you got left? You got the foreign minister and the PR spokesman. And neither one of them is equipped to lead the country. I think that Trump is very consciously, and by the way, that's one of the complaints of the left, but it's like, they don't have a succession plan. They don't know who's going to take over. It's like, yeah, it's right. We don't know who's going to take over. We only know that we're not going to allow it to be anybody nearly as bad as the guy we just got rid of. That's our duty. That's our problem. This is up to the Iranian people. The Iranian people are good. They were rejoicing while the left in America was sitting on the floor, tearing their garments and mourning for the loss of Khomeini. The actual Iranians were dancing in the streets. These are good people who wanted their freedom, especially the emigres in other countries around the world. They're all dancing and cheering that their relatives back home are now going to have civil rights again. It's unbelievable. And so those are the people who are going to eventually have to come forward and take over. Like I said, they're not going to allow, as far as the weaponry, that is still a problem. But the members of the IRGC, the members of the police force, they're turning around because they don't want to die. And they know that Trump's going to kill them. If they remain loyal to what is left of the regime, First of all, Trump's going to kill him, and Trump's not going to allow them to have anything more powerful than a pop gun.
That's right.
If you want to, I was like the actual police, the actual military, that's going to be controlled by decent people again, and that's what's going to happen. And it's going to take some time. Obviously, there's going to be a whole rebuilding process, but it's something that obviously was a long time coming. And
I love what you just said, and I agree with it. That's why he said the other day. He said, "We're going to have casualties. I'm sorry, war is hell. We're going to be there a long time." And what is he there doing? He's going to kill them all. I mean, that I agree with both of what you guys said. The puppet state of Venezuela, I'm the only person that said that. Me and Paul, the only person in the country that said that. That's what it is. So Thank you, Paul. And I also agree with the rabbi here. Trump is just going to keep our ships there, military there, till every last Iranian ship is sunk, as Tony Kennett said, down to the rowboats. They're gone.
Yes.
And then anybody that tries to take over, they're dead. So eventually you have to decide, do you want to die because you're going to Trump is going to kill you, or do you want to lay down your arms or go with the peace loving, pro-Western government? Because the alternative is death.
Yeah.
Because he's going to kill them all. That's basically it.
Yeah. And that's why we were saying before, now's a great time for any Iranian leader who's still, drawing breath. Surrender now, right? Otherwise, you will die. Like, that is your destiny, unless you surrender in a sincere, genuine way and start handing over your friends.
And then, guys, look at this, right? So you got Mandami coming out and condemning the attack and saying, New York City remains a free and open place for Iranians. Iranian, come here, you'll be safe. Whatever nonsense he spewed out a Saturday night, and then on Sunday he had one of the biggest pro-U.S. Trump rallies by Iranian Americans in front of the UN that I've ever seen. Playing YMCA and chanting USA, we love Trump. So the guy's an idiot beyond comprehension.
There was an Iranian immigrant who said, she was targeted by the regime. They tried to kill her numerous times. She invited Mamdani, come to any of my safe houses where we can keep you safe from the Iranian regime while you tell us how regrettable it is that their threat is being neutralized. It's like,
it's stunning.
It's, what was it? Kennedy who said, or is it Cassidy or Kennedy, senator, who said regarding Congresswoman AOC, that our solution to her is Operation Let Her Speak. Because whatever she says is going to be so disastrously dumb that you've got to listen to these people. Listen to Tlaib, listen to Omar, listen to Mamdani, listen to AOC. This is 100%. Not.
Madami said he texted the president to convey his displeasure. Like, who the hell cares what you say? You little twerp, you little communist twerp. Like, we don't give a rat's ass what you say. I texted the president
man never had
to,
a real job.
to announce my displeasure with. What do you think? You're like Undersecretary of State? You little anti-Semite twit. It's basically what this guy is. Unbelievable.
That's right. And by the way, putting on my partisan hat for a second, I dare the Democrats as a party to run this fall as they're trying to, take back the Congress. I dare them to run in support of the Iranian regime.
They're going to do it.
Go for it.
They can't help themselves. Look, they can't help themselves.
Please do it.
They can't help themselves, Paul. I mean, this is all turning now. Regular Americans are seeing what the Democrats are doing. I mean, I was saying earlier today, and I'm going to say it again. The Senate and Congress people that came on, you could see the glee that 3 American servicemen, now 4, have died.
Yeah.
That you could see they're rooting for our kids to get killed so they can blame Trump. They're rooting for our defeat. They're rooting for a ship to get sunk. I mean, these people are sick.
How many wars has Trump ended? How many times has he taken action to protect Americans that only 4 lives have been lost? When you think about it, it's actually unbelievable. It is unfathomable There have been more casualties, by the way, amongst Israeli civilians. And the Israelis have no doubt at all because they live in that neighborhood. They know what they're dealing with. They know who the Iranians are. And they're saying, it's really terrible we lost 8 people, but it's a small price to pay. Is it true that John Fetterman is massively popular amongst Pennsylvania Republicans now and decidedly unpopular among Democrats?
He's going to lose a Democratic primary. That's why he should change party. He's not going to win. Democrats are going to defeat him in the primary. I guess it'll be 2028. He will lose.
Right.
So we're encouraging to just change parties and you'll win.
You'll get parties, right? Run your own
Look, I'll take him. I'll take
Lieberman.
him voting with Republicans 55 or 60%. I have no problem with that. Okay, guys, I got to go. I got to get
amazing.
out. Rabbi, people want to follow you. Wait, Paul. People want to follow you. Where do they go, Rabbi?
I am Y Menken and CJ Values is CJ
Paul,
Values.
people want to follow you and your new company. Where do they go?
Yeah, tellerstrategies.com or @pteller on X.
All right, guys. Great day, right?
Thank you so much.
Day. You guys Rabbi's been coming on the show for 15 years.
I don't believe that. We'll argue about it next time.
Thank you.
Love it. Thanks again.